Acacia, for you, just in this game, I mean, kind of really seeing your footing kind of come together in the past couple of games? Like, what have you been kind of focusing on here to kind of lead the team, like in scoring as well as share such high scoring points with your teammates that you had last year?
Well, I don't. I feel like I do have a big role on this team. One of my jobs is to score the ball, but I feel like the scoring comes from our defense. Like, a lot of my points comes from transition, and so I feel like our defense really helps with my scoring. I get out in transition. Coach is always on me about being the first one out on transition and looking for those early up passes. And so I feel like when we play defense and get those steals and being a very fast player on the floor, I'm able to be one of the first ones out and be able to get those transition points.
What kind of happened in the second quarter? I mean, this is kind of 2 games in a row where it seems like you guys go into halftime, maybe make some adjustments, maybe coach says some things, and things change there in the third quarter.
That's something that we continuously try to figure it out. Like, that's what time we go in the halftime. He's like, you guys know what you're doing. Now figure it out. Like, it's on us. It's not the coach. It's just the way that we're playing. It's our defensive intensity. It's, when our offense is slow, that's not our game. We get too caught up in playing that other team's pace, and once we do that, it kind of disrupts our offense, and that disrupts our defense. So that's kind of what's going on in that second quarter.
Like Lex said, we know how we play, and we know what's happening in the second quarter. That wasn't us, and I feel like when we do get to go into halftime, we're finally all there together, and we get to come together and just finally calm down. And so I feel like we come together and like we put our foot down, like that's not us, and we turn it up and we change it.
That being said, 5-1 now, how nice is it to continue to kind of build some momentum as now you guys prepare for a big weekend before?
It's encouraging. Like I said once before, it's just encouraging going into this next game. We got a big game coming up against Kansas State, so already mentally that's where we're at. We're already getting prepared for that. We should already get our scout probably after this game, so just something we're looking forward to.
Alexis, 31-point plus minus. That's mostly because you sat out a lot during that second period. I think you only played 2 minutes. It looked like it was a foul trouble reason. You had 2 fouls during that period. Did Coach express that to you, like, hey, you have 2, we don't want you to get a third going into halftime, let's kind of sit out? And if so, like, obviously there was only 3 points scored by you all, one from, I think, a Teresa free throw, and then I think a layup. But was it hard to sit on the bench during that, low offensive quarter and just think, if I was in there could be something that I could do to help?
Yeah, Coach did express that to me. So once I picked up my second foul, he wanted to go ahead and just send me to that third quarter. But that's on me. That's on me. I shouldn't be able to pick up those 2 fouls and have Coach has to send me. And as for the girls on the court, whether I'm on the court or not, that's something that they got to get together on the court. Whether I'm on the bench, they got to figure out a way to score. There shouldn't be no drop off in a sense. So that's just somewhere we got to get better at.
Acacia, the third and fourth periods, you were launching threes from almost the IPA logo, and it looked like you couldn't miss. I mean, were you feeling like you were on fire, or were those shots that you're comfortable with, or were you just in a different headspace than you've been before? What was the cause behind taking those shots, and did you know they were going in?
Not necessarily feeling like I'm on fire. I mean, those are shots I practice every single day. So I feel like when you practice those shots outside of games, when you come into the game, it's like, you know they're going in. And so that's mostly what that is. That's practicing those shots and being confident when it comes to game time.
The one constant continues to be the defense, though. How nice is it to kind of have that to rely on and keep yourself in games to allow the offense to kind of get going?
It's really nice. Like, we know that we're not going to have a perfect shooting night or a perfect offensive night every night. Sometimes our shots are not going to fall. And so defense is something that's heart, that's effort, that's something that there's no excuses for lack of defense. And so when our offensive side isn't working, we know that our defensive side will always make up for the offense.
Mm-hmm. Like last game and this game went to halftime, Coach didn't say a thing about offense. Everything was about defense. He believes that offense will come once our defense is there. Once that intensity up, it brings offense. So that's just our main focus every game.
I know you guys have been through one of these before, but still, what's it like to have these education days and have a lot of screaming kids that sometimes maybe aren't screaming at things going on?
Honestly, it's one of my favorite games. It's just so fun having all the kids around. Like you said, they're just screaming the whole time. And honestly, sometimes it does really mess up the other team. They're not used to it, so it's very fun to be out there with those kids.
Same. It is. It's really nice. Those kids, they're basically fond of all of us, and so seeing their faces when we look at them, or just hearing like how they react when we score or hit a big shot, like those are moments that we're all here for. So.
15 offensive rebounds, 16 second chance points. That means you're converting on about 50 of them. It's got to be nice to know that the best thing that can happen if you miss a shot is to grab a rebound and score. It's got to be nice to know that that's happening 50% of the time. Just is expressing, getting that offensive board and putting a shot back up. One of the easiest shots in basketball is a layup. Even if it's a little bit contested, it's much easier than a contested three-pointer. It's got to be nice to be able to grab a board and put it back up. Does Coach express how important that shot is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
We had that rule where he said, you grab that offensive rebound, either you go up or you pass it out. One thing he doesn't want us to do is dribble inside that paint off that offensive rebound. So you kind of have two options.
Any more questions? Thank you, Rose.
Thank you.